can wipe out an individual investor's portfolio if a bunch of hedge funds, for instance, make decisions that they're going to sell something that you thought was a great investment and you were going to hold to the moon. Could we be in an AI bubble right now? Could we be in a crypto bubble right now? Be safe, be smart. There's so much going on in the markets and the economy. This video is to inform you, not to scare you. Individual stocks and assets like Bitcoin could drop 60, 70, 80%, especially when we hit recessions. Doesn't mean they won't recover, but are you going to be able to weather that storm and keep your money in that investment? Or are you going to panic and sell and then never see the potential gains? I've been investing in the stock market for practically half of my life, and what I've really noticed is that there's a big deception going on. There's a lot of volatility, as we know. S&P 500 down about 9% in the last month alone. But there's something I really want to share because I see a lot of people on social media, different platforms, following other creators and or other accounts trades. Just be really careful. Even for those who are following like a hedge fund or someone who manages money professionally for a living, you really need to be careful too, because you never know what's on the other side of that trade. For instance, someone may be shorting the S&P 500 to balance out another position in their portfolio. This happens all the time. People rarely talk about it, but just because you see other people are doing things, you don't always know why they're doing it or what's really going on. There's no question there's a lot of strain going on in the stock market, in the economy, and make sure you've done your research. Where do you think the S&P 500 is going in the next 3 years and 5 years? Base your decisions off of that, because in my view, that's how you can be a more successful investor rather than chasing the next best. Whether you're investing in individual stocks, whether you're investing in ETFs, index funds, the S&P 500, whatever that may be, you want to be strategic. And if you're investing in stuff like Bitcoin or gold, know why you're investing in them, because it's very important, especially with cryptocurrency. You want to be able to understand what's going to drive the cryptocurrency up in the future. Just because everyone thinks it's going up, this is how we've had past bubbles. Could we be in an AI bubble right now? Could we be in a crypto bubble right now? Especially when we hit recessions, individual stocks and assets like Bitcoin could drop. Most investors can't handle if they have a 20 or 30% drop in their portfolio. Talk about 50, 60, 70, or 80, especially if we go into a recession. You want to be smart. It's easy to say now, of course, I have the strongest conviction. This is either never going to happen or I will definitely keep my money in if Bitcoin drops from 81,000 to 20,000. And of course, there'll be people there who are saying it's a wonderful buying opportunity. Just be smart and strategic, because more people than not will not be able to handle downturns like this. And we're on the edge of a potential cliff. If someone buys $1 million worth of crypto, but they're worth $1 billion or multiple $1 billion, just keep in mind the ratio there of wealth, because there's a lot of smoke and mirrors with, all right, well, we have a company with trillions under management and they bought a couple $1 billion of Bitcoin, let's say. Well, that's a really, really small percentage. And of course, that could show that they're becoming more confident in it, but it could also just be a speculative gamble that they're making because they want to be a little bit part of what's going on in case it does take off. That doesn't mean it's going to take off. That doesn't mean that now is the right time. And this is true with any company, a stock as well. Just because a large company increased a share position doesn't necessarily mean that they think it's going to the moon. You really need to read behind the numbers, and sometimes it's near impossible to figure out why investors are making decisions or why people are making decisions that they are. I will tell you, it's not always for what you think. There's a lot of deception that goes on out there, and you want to try to dig deep and research and understand, is this part of a long-short strategy? Are they really long on this, or do they think maybe they could just make a quick buck and then they know it's going to tank? You want to be understanding of those patterns because they happen all the time. They can wipe out an individual investor's portfolio if a bunch of hedge funds, for instance, make decisions that they're going to sell something that you thought was a great investment and you were going to hold to the moon. So just wanted to share briefly. Thank you so much for listening in. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. And if you like this video, click the like button below. Have a good day.